Okay, this is the second to last video of the chapter. I thought we were gonna end up doing 4 parts, but we only needed 2 parts. So, it was an age of coal and power, and northern Alabama had both. The bankers in Philadelphia and New York, and even in London and Paris, had known this for almost 2 decades. The only thing lacking was transportation, and so in the mid-1870s bond notes, northern bankers began appearing in the directionaries of southern railroad lines. J.P. Morgan appears by 1875 as a director for several lines in Alabama and Georgia. In 1886, Henry Grady, an editor at the Atlanta Constitution, spoke at a dinner in New York. In the audience were J.P. Morgan, H.M. Flagler, Russell Sage, and Charles Tiffany. His talk was called The New South, and his theme was, "Let bygones be bygones. Let us have a new era of peace and prosperity." The Negro was a prosperous laboring class. He had the fullest protection of the laws and the friendship of the Southern people. Grady joked about the Northerners who sold slaves to the South and said the South could now handle its own race problem. He received a rising ovation. The North, it must be recalled, did not have to undergo a revolution in its thinking to accept the subordination of the Negro. When the Civil War ended, 19 of the 24 northern states did not allow blacks to vote. By 1900, all southern states, in the constitutions and new statutes, had written into law the disfranchisement and segregation of Negroes, and a New York Times editorial said, "Northern men no longer denounce the suppression of the Negro vote. The necessity of it, under the supreme law of self-preservation, is candidly recognized." In the post-war literature, images of the Negro came mostly from Southern white writers like Thomas Nelson Page, who in his novel Red Rock referred to a Negro character as a hyena in a cage, a reptile, a species of worm, a wild beast. In this atmosphere, it was no wonder that those Negro leaders most accepted in white society, like the educator Booker T. Washington, a one-time White House guest of Theodore Roosevelt, urged Negro political passivity.